major. What can I say? God made me great. I've been sleeping on myself, now it's time to wake. He put a table in front of me, so it's time to pray. I'm in the woke mood, trying to make moves, get a breakthrough. Folks do what they don't do, you better stay true. Go cool, Super Saiyan blue, crush your goals, put that vision in the motion, staying focused is the clue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for liking, subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. And we are back with another episode. And in the studio, we have the talented, the vigorous, the strong, focused, super creative Sunra Banx in the studio. Sunra, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How you been, bro?
Can't complain.
Oh, that's good. It's such a privilege to have you in the studio after just vibing and, just getting to know each other for a little bit. And you're one of the artists that I've kind of had my eyes on, like, yeah, I got to get Sunra in the studio. So I'm super excited that you're here, man. And, doing the major is all about living with purpose, living with intention, and living to inspire. So we just going to have some candid conversations around music for season 1 especially. So just introduce yourself, man. Let the listening audience know who you are, what you've been up to, how you've been over the past couple of months. What's new, man? What's new? What's up?
Things are not bad. I haven't really been doing music that much, but
yeah,
it's still there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still dabbling with a few different things, but in the studio itself, I haven't really been active in it, but there's always something coming up at some point, but
right.
You just got to get back in it.
So when was the last time you did like a song, actual production? Was it earlier this year, last year?
I did a little remix of a song, a
Yeah.
little dancehall remix song earlier in the year. A little something I just found on YouTube and just decided to hop on it. But the real production last year.
Last year? Yeah, like your own stuff from start to finish, your own production
Yeah.
last year. That's dope, man. I understand that too because you've been heavy with your business.
It's a wrap, yeah.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that, man. Like when did you get started with that? What inspired you getting into that, especially coming from a music background and just making the decision to, go into entrepreneurship?
I've been dabbling in a lot of different entrepreneurial ventures for a minute. Cooking kind of just fell into my hands at some point. I was in a situation where I was bartending and had an opportunity to learn how to cook, make a couple extra bucks, and it kind of landed. I liked it. It's cool. I saw the potential in the industry within Anguilla, and I decided to take the next step and try to pursue something, along with everything else that I got going on.
Yeah.
Just trying to add that to it as well as a way to, capitalize off of it,
Right.
The opportunity. So
Right.
Yeah.
So you were bartending here in Anguilla?
Yeah.
At the
Started
Dune or
bartending.
somewhere else?
Well, since I was 13, my dad threw us in the bar, so I've been bartending
Yeah.
since then. Did a few on and off jobs. I really learned how to bartend really well at Sandbar. And bartended a few other places, did some waiting jobs when I came back here and lived in 2018, just hustling back and forth, trying to figure things out.
Right.
And then, the cooking just came up after that, and I decided,
Nice.
it's a good opportunity to do something,
So when you say you came back in 2018, just coming back from the U.S. or England? We're coming back from where?
No, actually, I've been in the Caribbean all the time.
Okay.
I've been in the Caribbean pretty much all my life. Was born here. My brother and sister, they were born in Canada, so I spent about 2-3 years in Canada. But other than that, I've been here.
Yeah, in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I've been here. I've been in Dominica, St. Kitts, and then back here.
Nice. So who is Sunra, man? Like, it's an awesome. Is that your government name or that's like your stage name?
No, Sunra is my government.
That's your government name. Sunra Banx. That's dope, man. So tell us about your origin in music. How you got started in music. What inspired that whole journey in terms of music? Who inspired you? I'm not sure if your story, your journey is similar to Omari, where you just kind of grew up around your dad and the music and stuff like that. And tell us about what really got you into the whole music thing.
For me, it was a little bit different. Music was always around. Was always doing around the music, wasn't really doing it around it in the household. My dad putting on Moonsplash and this and that. But when I moved to Dominica, introduced to rap music, and back then the general public was more interested in this like drill music scene coming on,
Right.
Like Chicago and in the States and stuff like that. So as a young teenager in like 2010, 2012, 2011, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that you're listening to in a sense. And also dance hall as well too, because I grew up in a small little fishing village from the age of 10 to about 18. So it was different, you know what I mean? My dad's influence wasn't really there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would come and see him over the summer, over Christmas time, but it was more like, it was different. It was a different approach to what I kind of knew growing up.
Yeah.
And at that age, you know, you're kind of more intrigued into the stuff that other people are interested in. So I kind of dabbled in that as well. So when I was 15, I started a little music rap group with my friends. You know, we would record music on our phone and on a laptop and just put it out, you know?
Yeah.
My dad's take on that initially wasn't really rocking with it that much, but at the end of the day, I kind of just wanted to do what I want and, you know, kind of felt like this is a way that, you know, people will kind of resonate, you know what I mean, apart from just the stigma of, oh, you're Banky's son and this, and that, you know.
Right.
But, you know, you can't really run from that, you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're just in it, but I was just doing my thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was, you know, initially my music was good, but I felt like people weren't resonated as well too because you had that stigma behind it.
Yeah.
Banky's son, this and that.
Right.
And
So they kind of wanted more of a reggae something from you.
Exactly. You know, but growing up in Dominica, it was different. You know, it wasn't really what I was accustomed to down here. You know, you kind of had to. When I went to school here, private school. You know, very straight, simple, easygoing.
Right.
And then I kind of was just influxed into this society that I didn't really know much about. So you know, as a teenager, as a young kid, you know, you kind of want to fit in. I always knew I was a little different. You know. Right. I always knew that, you know, my locks, you know, a little what's the word? Unconventional. You know what I mean? I grew up very unconventional.
Right.
So it took a little time for me to kind of get into that feel and really understand it. I used to get a lot of angry about it. I used to feel like I didn't fit in anywhere, you know. Right. And like being able to rap music that people like was a way that people kind of, you know,
embraced me.
You know what I mean? So I kind of just did that, you know what I mean? But like, you know, the issue I felt was like, you know, it kind of gets to your head after a while and you start to realize that like, hey, you know, people ain't really rocking with you. They're rocking with what you're doing. But at the end of the day, who you are is, you can't morph yourself into being something that you want people to like, you know, you gotta kind of just be yourself with it. You know? Yeah. So, you know, that was a bit conflicting within those adolescence years and stuff. And then as you get older, you know, you kind of start to move away from that stuff. You kind of feel like after a while, you take a little minute, you take a step back, and you just realize, yo, the real people who really rock with you are what matter. Right. And when people accept you for who you are, that's what matters. You know what I mean? Right. And then after a while, no matter if you ain't getting anything, any kind of approval or validation from the people that you want to be validated by, then, you know what I mean? Yeah. It don't really matter. It's the same way. Eventually, things will catch on by just being yourself and being cool, you know? So I just kind of did my thing, you know what I mean? I don't really care what anybody thinks. I just do what I want to do. Yeah. So
I like that bit of transparency right there. So you kind of went on a journey of finding yourself, finding your sound, in terms of, you know, having the pressure of like, okay, well, yeah, this is, you know, Banky's son, and everybody's looking for reggae from you. But you went on a different path of trying to dabbling to like hip hop a little bit. And what did that transition like look like? What kind of feelings were going through your mind, your heart, in terms of, you know, finding the people when people were just like, okay, I realized that they like my music, but they're really not like into me per se, you know? How was that when that light bulb went off for you?
I'm gonna say it. It was painful, you know what I mean? You kind of just bask in it, you understand it, you accept it, and then you deal with it. You know? You just deal with it, and you just kind of focus on, you know, who embraces you and who resonates with you, and you kind of just had a little time where you would just kind of isolate. Yeah. You know? And it was, I don't know, I just kind of found myself on my own. I just kind of buried myself in isolation for a long time, just keeping to myself.
Yeah.
And within that, the growth kind of transpired because I was just focused on me, what I had going on.
Right.
And then I started to realize that, you know, people started to like it. But I didn't know initially too.
Yeah.
Until like I would like do something and then not think about it. And then after a while, people realized that I'm not doing anything and it hit me up. I was like, yo, you already watching my stuff? Bro?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Nice.
Yeah. Like, where you been?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
people would come up to me like, yo, when's the next song? I'm like, you're watching my stuff, bro?
Right.
That's cool,
man.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I think it was maybe 2 years ago. I just saw your artwork on the, the billboard and stuff like that. I had no idea who you were really. And I knew that your music was a little bit, different from like the reggae and stuff like that. It was more, I think the song that I heard was more of a like, kind of mellow something, like a smooth something like that. So I was just like, okay, that's cool. Had no idea there was another Banx really, because you kind of see Omari, but I started to be interested in your genre and your character and who you were and who you are. And I definitely had to get you out here on the Doing a Major podcast, and just so that you could just share, your experience, talk a little bit more about your music and stuff like that. And for the short time I've noticed you, bro, there's a little bit of a mystery going on behind you a little bit, and you seem like you're really like chill, like super chill, very, very focused on what you want. And I think that plays in with really doing a major when you're out there trying to actually do something and create something that's long lasting. There's a level of focus, and I think that you have that level of focus. So in terms of you coming out of that season of your life where it's just like, okay, I'm taking a different path, I'm carrying a different sound. How intentional have you been, or what did you have to work through to get that level of focus and settling within yourself like, hey, I'm not this person, I don't carry that, this is me, this is how I sound, and I'm just locked in that, what was that like? How locked in, how focused did you need it to be to actually come to grips with, yourself?
Well, I'll start it off like this. When I think about music, I always say it's not really about how much you say. It's about what you say and how you say it.
Right.
So I took that philosophy on with a lot of different things,
Yeah.
It's not about how much you do.
Right.
It's about what you do and how you do it. And people feel through emotion and energy what it is that resonates. So when you're passionate about something, you focus on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't just do something because it's popping, because it's buzzing, because people like it, because you feel like people are going to like it. Do what you like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And people will catch on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I look at this stuff. You know what I mean? And just focus on that. Focus on the task at hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Write down everything that you want. Skim through it slowly, bit by bit. Prioritize things. You know what I mean? In the course of a week, you may have to skip through a few different things and put other things up and prioritize other things over things that you thought you had to prioritize. You just work through that. And you give yourself a schedule and a regiment.
Yeah.
And you just lock in and remove all the distractions, unnecessary people that are coming, around you, that are not actively helping you within what it is that you're accomplishing, or you're not helping them.
Yeah.
If whatever it is that you're doing with anybody else is not mutual, you know what I mean? It's not a mutually beneficial situation, then, you know what I mean? You got to stop and take a step back and evaluate what it is you're doing within this individual, and, if this person is worth my time. It's kind of cruel, it's kind of harsh sometimes, you know what I mean? Just to kind of drop people like that. But if when you're on your goal and you're on your focus and you really want to do what you got to do, there's sacrifice, and those things come with that. Being straight, blunt, and serious, and letting go what's not necessary.
Yeah.
So that's how I approach everything.
Right,
you know
100%.
I mean? Yeah, man. You got to be of value to me, I got to be of value to you. If not, it don't matter.
You got to be of value to me, and I got to be of value to you. Yeah. Else it doesn't really
It doesn't make
sense.
sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have one life to live.
Yeah.
If you have goals and you want to do certain things and achieve them at a specific time, you got to look at those. You got to look at your circle. Look at what's around you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't mean not to have fun and have time and spend time and quality time with people and stuff. I had to learn that as well too.
Right.
Work doesn't really equate to anything too if you're not actually having fun and enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you can also enjoy what you're doing with the right people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And have fun and work hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
100%, man. I like that. So on your journey, would you say like you had to drop off a lot of people, or maybe just like some people? Were there people that were trying to get around you just because of who you are, or like trying to leech or anything like that, or it's just a matter of you just being focused and you had an idea like, okay, I feel like this person is not bringing value to the table, so I'm just kind of going to just keep my distance, you know?
To be honest with you, I didn't really have to do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There wasn't much people really rocking with me anyways.
Yeah.
It's not even that I was somebody who people were rocking with in the beginning or I invited initially. You know, most times my presence kind of gives people the idea like, ooh, you know what I mean? If you're brave enough to come and talk, you may get a little vibe. But most of the time it came easy. It wasn't like a complete transformation. I always was like that. I always was like a little isolated in myself, not because of other people, but just me on my own vibe. I was always in my own head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always like, hey, what's up? What you saying? You good? Cool. Gone. You know what I mean? It always was like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't something that I had to actively change. You know what I mean? I had to change me, what I was doing in my leisure time, and like, you know, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things kind of started. Sometimes it's difficult for other people because then you have this big mass of people and so, so you got to kind of cut and you feel bad and this and that. I never really had that. You know what I mean? I always was like, this. Hey, what's up? You cool? Gone.
Yeah.
Check him out. I had a lot of time to just be alone anyways.
Right. So what are some habits that you, if you don't mind sharing, that you kind of develop along the way? Because I feel like a lot of times people don't really pay attention to their habits and what they do on a regular basis, because what you do on a regular basis, it creates who you are, and it navigates the things that you do, the words that you say, you know. So what was that journey like for you, that process of you realizing like, man, this is where I want to be, but in order to get there, I got to change this, and I got to start doing this, you know, in terms of your habits, you know. Talk to us about that a bit.
Well, like I said it before, it kind of starts with writing things down. You write down everything that you need to do. Prioritize your life, prioritize your routines. Focus on what matters now. If there's 3 things that you got to get done today that are the most important, you have 8 things in your head. Focus on those 3 things that are most important.
Right.
Write everything down. Everybody got a phone in their hand. Everybody got a mobile device. You know, instead of scrolling on TikTok, you can do that. Just write everything that you got to get done down.
Yeah.
Everything that you got to do within time, and give yourself scheduled times to do these things. I got to do X, Y, Z. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. And then you'll realize how much time you've actually wasted within your day doing mindless stuff.
Right.
And then you feel like things ain't working out. How come things aren't happening in time? It's because you're not utilizing your time properly.
Right.
Yeah.
So was that something that came naturally for you, or that's like something that you had to develop?
I had to learn that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody kind of, when I was like 16, I started off doing a clothing brand or so-and-so. So like, was introduced to this cool guy. I think his name is Damon. Don't remember. It's been a long time. But he basically used to send me podcasts of like people. And he basically said, you know, just listen to these things. And one of the few things that they said was write everything down that you want.
Yeah.
You know, and schedule your life. And whatever you want to do, just take notes about it. And, you know what I mean? And just keep going. And like, you attract what you attract. You know what I mean? If you're focused and driven and you're goal-oriented, you know what you want, and you're within a certain field or sector, people will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. About 2-3 years ago, me and my dad had a bit of an issue. Left the Dune. Was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Got a bartending gig. And then my best friend, he was going to China. He got a scholarship to go to China. Learn computer science. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do within that, because I kind of wanted to take a pause on music. because I felt like I was focusing a lot on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to diversify my portfolio in the sense of try to find another skill. You know what I mean? Because I felt like that's all I was doing. You know what I mean? Dropped out of school, did an entrepreneurial course and this and that, but I didn't like school. I like to actively, if I was doing something, I like to actively know what I was doing. And the only way that I would want to learn something is if I was actively utilizing it in the real world. You know what I mean? I just felt like school, in a sense, you're learning a bunch of things and you don't really know what the hell you're going to do at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If you have a goal, like you want to be a doctor, right? You got to go to school. Right. You want to be an accountant, you got to go to school. But if you don't really know what you want to do, you know what I mean? Figure out what you want to do in the real world, go and get experience, and then you can always go back and learn courses and this and that.
Right.
What I did was I decided I wanted to learn how to code, do computer science and stuff. So while I was on that journey, I ended up meeting people just out the blue who were in that same field because I was so focused on that. Yeah. Things come once you focus your energy on.
So you got a little bit of coding knowledge?
Yeah, I can do web development, websites and stuff.
Okay. But everything kind of just fell in place when you made your decision to, learn the skill of computer coding, in that specific time where it's like you was unsure of what you're gonna do. So when you said, you attract what you attract, it made me it reminded me of the law of attraction, where the more you focus on something, the more you lock in on something, you begin to attract that thing that you're so focused on. I don't know if that's something that you believe in, because for me, a person that spends so much time in their head, in their thoughts, they kind of have a lot of gems to share, because, you step back, you look at life in a different way, because everyone else is busy, everyone else is hanging out with friends, but the person that's taking time to think is almost like one step ahead, because there's things that they're thinking about, there's things that they're observing. So I guess my question to you would be, what have you come across any philosophies or just any nuggets that you've seen or you've developed over the years, where just like you're looking at life, you're looking at people, and you're realizing like people are a peculiar species or being, or life is so complex, but you found this code, and if you would just stick to this code, things could be easy. I don't know if you got any nuggets in your quiet times, in your moments, things that you just like, you know what? I think if a lot of people knew such and such, then they would kind of see their way better. I don't know if you're feeling what I'm saying.
I feel like there's a lot of potential in certain areas, certain things that people have the privilege to be around, but they're not utilizing it because they're not seeing it from a different perspective. Right. You know what I mean? They're not seeing it from the perspective of an ambitious thing because they're so comfortable in a bubble. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. When things are all good, everything's all good, so you kind of tend not to see certain things. Yeah. Like when I was living at the Dune, the kitchen was always there. No one was using it. You know what I mean? I didn't see the potential of it until I was in a situation where I had to hustle, figure out what I wanted to do, you know what I mean? Outside of that shelter, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that made me think about different things. That I feel like that happens with a lot of people too. They don't see the opportunities that presented right in front of them. But sometimes it really takes you to step out and be out of your comfort zone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what I would say is be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Just be comfortable in that space of unpredictability. Controlled chaos. Yeah. Live in chaos, but control it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Be everything, do everything. Yeah. You know, run around, do what you want to do, but just, you know what I mean? Just control it. You can do a million different things. Once it's all in the same subject, in the same sector, it makes sense, and I'll figure it out. As long as you can contain that well, you're good to go. Control the chaos. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Focus on what you want. Ignore the noise. You know, just focus on the signal. Yeah, like Steve Jobs. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull on your brain a little bit, bro, because I mean you're talking some deep stuff. Why do you think people are so comfortable with being comfortable rather than being uncomfortable? Why do you think people naturally gravitate towards easy? For example, like, the 99%, they don't do the hard stuff. They prefer the easy stuff, and that's why the 1% of the world which is the elites, the rich, the wealthy. You know, they kind of have this perspective and this drive, this ambition, this mode, this lifestyle of living where they have embraced the difficult things in life. Because for me, I'm of the opinion that if you want to do a major, you got to do the things that nobody else is willing to do. Because right now, like, everybody in the world is living on a minor frequency. And if you want to live above the frequency, operate on a different frequency, then obviously you got to embrace the thing that no one else wants to embrace, which is hardship. I don't know if you ever came across David Goggins, you know.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so just having a unique perspective on pain and embracing pain rather than running from it. You know, so what would you say to the person that wants to change their lifestyle, wants to, you know, accomplish great things, but at the same time, they're afraid of stepping into the unknown?
Well, I feel like the main reason for this, instant gratification. There's a lot of it now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it now.
Yep.
Everything that you want is in the tip of your finger. You know what I mean? Even if you don't have it, there's an opportunity to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instant, the podcast, all that shit. The podcast, everything. You know what I mean? You fill your brain up with dopamine. You know what I mean? Oh, I really want to get things done. I really want to do this. I really want to do that. I want to do this. So you watch a podcast about it. It motivates you. Motivates. Motivate fast. You do a few little things, and then you drain out.
Yeah.
You can't run on motivation. You got to run on discipline.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Amari probably mentioned something like that in this podcast because he's all about that as well.
Yeah,
so that's the one thing I agree with him on out of a few things I disagree with him on. But, you know, that's one thing that he says, you know?
Yeah.
Motivation, burnout, discipline, focus, what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it is.
Instant gratification. A lot of people are just hooked on, you know, getting things easy and not disciplined enough to really have a rigid schedule and sticking to that schedule. Yeah. I agree 100%, man, because you could be gassed up on motivation, but as you said, it's just motivation. It's just another pep talk. You know, it's just another dopamine, you know, fix.
Action.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Right. Get it
Don't
done.
think about it. Get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just do it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know everything about it, just do it. You'll figure it out. Everybody wants everything to be perfect.
Right.
It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be great. No, we gotta wait. We gotta do this.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Get it done. You'll figure it out.
So, man, I like this because people there's actually this mindset where in order to start a business, I have to have everything perfect. You know, I have to have the everything, you know, how I would like it to be. And I mentioned this on a different podcast where it's like, because we have an access to the world, like we know how it is in China, we know how it is in Europe, how it is in Australia, and who's doing this over there and who's doing that over there. We kind of have these different ideas and opinions, and there's a lot of comparison because now you know how Jack is doing it and how Jill is doing it. So now you want to do it like them rather than focusing on your uniqueness. So when we come to start something, start a business, write a book, produce content, whatever it is, a restaurant, we have this idea and this imagery that it has to look like that or it has to function and operate like that rather than just finding that unique perspective and that uniqueness, just doing it the way how you want to do it. You know, what do you think about that?
I feel like you still have to kind of have what you want set in stone, in a sense. You know what I mean? You still gotta operate in a sense where like you want it to be the way you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
And you actually want to start off saying that you want it to be perfect, you know what I mean? In a sense, but not perfect in a sense where what you want to do is not going to get done because you want it to be. The issue is, I feel like, is people are so fixated on it being exactly how you want it.
Yeah.
If it's 85%, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
So
they
they're
get that other
crippled.
15%.
They're
crippled by their head.
Yeah, yeah.
They're crippled by their head.
Yeah, the idea of perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah, just crippled.
If you have everything sorted out, you already spoke with people, you already discussed what you want to do, and you have a structure of it, and you don't have the 15% that you feel like you need, you'll get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just work with what you got. You know what I mean? Perfection comes from passion. You're passionate about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't over perfect, and don't be a perfectionist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be a go-getter and get it done.
Yeah.
Action over everything.
Yeah.
Action is the best of all.
So tell us about your clothing brand, man, because you mentioned that a while ago. So is it something that you started way back when and it kind of died off, and you have it and like you start something new, or is it still consistently going? Because even when I reached out to you last week about having the episode, you mentioned that you had a meeting with your supplier, and
that was business for It's a Wrap.
For It's a Wrap, yeah.
The clothing brand, it's still there. I have everything. I have the website, everything up, but I haven't really focused on that yet. But it's there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I haven't really dabbled in that in a long time.
Was it something that you made from the ground up, like you coded that yourself in terms of the website and everything, or was it something that you did like through Shopify or something like that?
To be honest with you, that was like way back.
Yeah.
Like I did Weebly or something like that.
Okay.
When I talk about clothing brand, I'm talking about like 2015 to 2018.
Wow.
Like I haven't really dabbled in it after.
Yeah.
I got so busy with other things and more priorities. But it's there, but it's just not
Gotcha.
there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
More music came in after that, my album,
Mm-hmm.
my singles, and then the restaurants. That's what I'm focused on now.
Yeah. So you're working on an album, or you have an album that you're thinking you're trying to do, or what are you thinking about in terms of music? How soon you think you're gonna get back in it? What's your thoughts about your artistry?
Well, I'm writing now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm writing. We're trying to work on getting instrumentals together to write towards, and maybe put something up maybe next year. But other than that, not really. I've just been laser focused on the business side of It's a Wrap. But yeah,
that's dope. What was one of your darkest seasons in your life, man? I feel like you've probably had one or two of those.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, man, what was one of like the darkest seasons in your life? Because I don't know why people don't really try to go, and it's understandable. Some people try not to go there, depending on how grimy it is. Some people try not to go there, but I feel like there's a lot of healing in the pain, and when people could realize that, hey, this person is super dope. This person is cool. I love their music. I love what they do, what it is they do. But they went through this dark season in their life. And I've been through a dark season in my life. And I kind of understand what he or she is going through. And it kind of helps navigate through some of that. So, yeah, if you don't mind, man, like I'm just curious. And I feel like you could kind of help one or two persons or maybe more persons out there to navigate through their dark seasons or dark time that they might be going through.
Well, initially coming back here to Anguilla, yeah, it was difficult for a little bit, trying to navigate, how it is here. Mm-hmm. I went to school here as a kid, didn't go to school here as a teenager, you know what I mean? So
was this primary school or primary school and high school?
Primary school, yeah. Primary school in Anguilla. Mm-hmm. Left when I was like 10, 11. Mm-hmm. Went to Dominica. Then St. Kitts, came back here pretty much 18 and adult. I used to come back and forth, but I started living here at 18. So just trying to navigate that as well too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People didn't really, had people who knew me and stuff, but like that's from like primary school or a decade ago, almost. So kind of recanting with people. My brother and sister, they went to school here, so kind of knew people, met them off them, and recanted with people off them. But other than that, I was kind of like just in my own stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I didn't really have I had things that I was doing, but I kind of just let them go after I left Dominica and St. Kitts. And I had to kind of find myself and work. I just wanted to work, make money, and figure out what's next. Yeah. So
are you like, is it are you in the middle? Is it Omari and then you and then Tahiro, or are you the youngest? Like,
I'm the second youngest. If you count the two after me, they're twins.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
There's 11 of us.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like, Omari's not even the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah.
A few that live in the States. There's a few here. You know? Yeah. There's a few of us. Yeah, we're like the last of the batch. My mother was the last three.
Yeah. I got you.
Everybody's grown now. We were the youngest. Everyone's past 20, 24, 25. Everyone's adults now.
Yeah. Okay. So coming back to Anguilla, just navigating those waters was a dark time for you. You know,
I wouldn't say it was dark. It was just
different.
Different, you know. Trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
You know, trying to figure out where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how I was gonna create something here that I enjoyed, that I felt comfortable doing, you know. I was really basking in comfortability within that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you're trying to be comfortable, sometimes it doesn't work because you have to be uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable and bask in that level of uncomfortability while being comfortable in it. If that makes sense. It's a lot of words, but yeah.
I get it.
You'll never be fully comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'll be settled, but you can be depressed after a while. You got everything going on, but the human brain, the human mind is focused on being driven and having a purpose.
Right.
So you can be comfortable making XYZ amount of money doing this, living XYZ paycheck to paycheck, all good. And then 15 years down the line, you start to feel depressed. That's what they call a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do because it's like everything's good, but what have I done? You know what I mean?
That's a scary thing.
So that's a scary thing.
That's a scary thing.
You know what I mean? And I always felt like that. Even when I was young, I didn't have to worry about that stuff. I always felt like I got to get my shit together. I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
You know, always felt driven. And then when you live in a household like, you know, with my dad and everyone's ambitious and go-getters. Trying to figure out what they want to do.
That external
doing
pressure.
This. My sister's doing tennis. My brother's in the military. Omari's performing. Tahira's doing this. Everyone's doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's also the environment in the household that you grow up into as well. Too,
so that pressure is there.
Exactly. If everybody's a loafer, you don't think about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if everyone's get driven, you know, it's like a drive to get that shit done.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And sometimes even too, when everyone's a loafer too, it's that one person in that family. You always see it. There's always that one person in that family that's like, screw that shit. I don't want to be like these people, man. Right. I want to actually do something and get something done. You know what I mean? So it takes that, you know?
Right.
So that's what it is.
So what's your take on purpose, man? Because I mean, you just mentioned you're in a household with your siblings and everybody is out there getting it, and you kind of feel like probably at that point in your life you're looking at all your siblings and you're like, they got purpose, they know what they're doing, and you're looking at yourself and you're asking yourself, what am I going to do? Yeah. So, I mean, what's your take on purpose and how important you think it is for a person, whether male or female, how important it is for them to have some kind of purpose, to know that, hey, this is what you want to do with your life and don't detour from that. Like, what's Sunra's take on purpose?
Purpose is something you got to find within. You know what I mean? Within yourself.
Yeah.
Within you, what you know. You know? Focus on what you're good at. Master it. Everyone's good at something. Everyone's always good at something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes what parents do is they see something that a kid's good at from young and they nurture that. And they keep it growing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But everyone has a hidden talent. Everyone has a skill that they're doing, even though they didn't have that maybe parental, you know, assistance. You know what I mean? Just figure that out. Whether it is podcasting like you, whether it is tennis, whether it is some kind of sport. I'm just honed in on that. Even if nobody's helping you, like I said, once you focus your energy on that stuff, the people will come. The people will come around. You know what I mean? And again, too, like I want to bring back to what you were saying about law of attraction. Law of attraction works, but it doesn't work without action. Action is the best of all.
The law of attraction doesn't work without action.
Exactly.
Bet.
Exactly.
100%, bro.
100%.
I like that.
Because there's a lot of people saying, oh, law of attraction, I'm just going to think and vision about this and do this and do that. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Respectfully, bro. You got to do it. That's how you attract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause you don't just attract from the universe. You attract from someone watching you do it. Like, yo, this guy's cool. How'd you do that?
Right.
And you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's watching you.
Have you ever had that experience, like outside of the web development phase of your life, like maybe with your restaurant, you're focused on that. You're about action. Have you had that experience where someone just came and say, "Sunra, I like what you're doing here with this restaurant at the Dune," or even just another aspect of your life, and it's just like, I want to be a part of it
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Talk. What did that look like? What did that look?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But again, too, this is another thing that you got to navigate within life as well, too. Ulterior motives. You got to think about that stuff, too. Because sometimes when you're up, people want to with you. But when you're down, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to think about that as well, too. And not even just that. Even in the sense with ulterior motives, it's like everybody wants something, right? You got to figure out whether or not what they want from you is beneficial to you as well, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's mutually beneficial, my mother always says win-win-win. It's a win-win-win game. It's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some people, they get swindled by it. You know what I mean? A lot happens to a lot of artists as well, too, in these industries and stuff like that. They're really, really good at what they do. They do this and that, so-and-so. But they don't know exactly what it is they want.
Yeah.
So then you end up in a situation where you're around a lot of people who, if you don't know what you want, my father always says, if you don't know what you're looking for, no one can help you find it, right? But also, too, if you don't know what you're looking for, someone can guide you into their ulterior motives of what they want you to do, which will benefit them.
Right.
So you got to be careful. So purpose is important. I'll go back to that, because if you don't know what you want to do, you'll spend the rest of your life doing something for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to focus on what you want.
Yeah.
You got to know exactly what it is you want and stipulate that and be solid with that. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. If you want to join in and help me with this stuff, we're going to get this. And I'll take your opinion and I agree with you as long as it works on both ends.
Yeah.
Or else you get swindled, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I'm in the States and so, meeting artists and producers and record labels and this and that, but you're lost.
Yeah.
That's where they catch you when you're lost. There's always this stories about these artists and stuff who they just found somewhere, so-and-so doing this, very talented, but they don't know anything. They're just talented and they just sweep you up.
Yeah.
3 years later, you're in shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, another thing I really dabbled into when it comes to my music was understanding the business of what you're doing. A lot of people want to do certain things, but not really serious about getting down to the nitty gritty of it. That's what the focus comes into. If you're doing something, you got to know every single aspect of what it is that you're doing. If you really want to dominate it, you can't say you run a business and you don't want to learn accounting.
Right.
You check? No way.
Yeah.
You got to know how your money works. You got to know where your cost of goods come from. You got to know your sales. You got to know how much money you're putting in. You got to know your profit margin. You got to know about all these different things.
You're dropping gems, bro.
So I'm trying to tell you, bro, straight up, you got to know. And that also drives your purpose as well, too. If you're fully passionate about what you're doing, you're passionate about every single aspect within what it is you're doing. From the easiest things to the hardest things. And that's, again, we're going to go back again full circle. Instant gratification as well, too. You want everyone else to do it for you and this and that. You got to know what you're doing. You know, that's another thing, too. Everything comes again full circle. I learned how to code, learned how to cook, built a restaurant, built my own POS system, running my whole in-house operations within that. Because I took my time to understand every single aspect of it. I'm not a professional about anything.
Right.
I'm a professional when it comes to operating what I'm doing and the certain things that I know about, but I know a little bit about everything within it.
Yeah.
So that way I can conversate with the different people who are going to help me within it. And like I say, the people will come, but you have to prepare yourself for it. And preparing yourself is understanding the knowledge in a way that you can communicate with them to know what you want.
Yeah.
A lot of people want things, but they don't know how to say what they want in a way that resonates with whoever they want you to do for. Yeah. So then you end up getting frustrated. Nobody's helping me. Oh no, this and that. Everything's right in front of you, bro.
Yeah.
You just didn't take enough initiative to actually see it.
Right.
Because you're lazy. Instant gratification. You just feel like everyone can do it for you. No, you gotta do it for you. This is yours, bro.
Right.
Act like it's yours.
Right.
It's like you want it.
Yeah.
Because if you really want it, you'll get down to the nitty gritty. You will.
Man, that was some good stuff just now, man. One of my college professors said that there's a prepared place for a prepared person. You know, there's always a prepared place for a prepared person. And like you said, once you're prepared, the people will come. You know, you'll be able to articulate what it is that you want because you were doing the groundwork. You know,
exactly.
Yeah, that man, I feel that 100%, and I think that's gonna really resonate with people out there. You know, because it's 100% facts, 100% facts, man. So, man, how intentional have you been with setting up your business, setting up your music? How intentional have you been with your lifestyle? Along your journey so far, you like the power of intentionality. You know, what is your thoughts on that? Like, how intentional just have you been with everything that you're doing, the people that you've met, the things that you dabble into, the things that you've built, and the things that you're trying to sustain?
I take a lot of pride in everything that I do. I'm laser focused on it. You know, like again, focus on the task at hand. So intention comes easy. You know what I mean? You can see the passion in my eyes when I speak. Yeah. When I say what I want. People say my eyes tend to open up like this. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just, I can't help it. You know what I mean? That's passion. That's intention. Right. You know what you want. I want to, you know what I mean? I also want to help people. At some point in time, I want to be in a situation where we can have a podcast like this and I can actually teach people. Right. It's easy groundwork. You know, the first thing you'd start off with is like, yo, have a bunch of kids in the room. First thing you ask them is, what do you guys want to be? Whatever it is. They can say they want to be a drug dealer. I want to be the biggest drug dealer in Angola. They don't care. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a goal. Right. You know what I mean? We can restructure that. Right? We can think, again, like that, I always try to say things like this. Sometimes you learn from the people always think you can only learn from the good. You can learn from the bad too. Correct. Trust me. Correct. You can learn from the bad. You can learn what not to do by being around messed up shit. No, trust me, man. You're right. Trust me, you're right. 100%. So you can look at every single thing within it. So again, that same kid. Let's go for the example. That same kid who said he wants to be a drug dealer, right, or whatever it is. He writes it down. What do you want? All right, bro. Let's start it off. If you want to be the best drug dealer in Angola, or whatever it is like that, there's certain things that you gotta do, right? XYZ, boom, 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 boom. Then you can restructure that into this. So basically, you want to be a CEO. Right. Now let's flip that over now to a page and encourage this kid to be like, hey, all right, let's look at the pros and cons of actually being a CEO of a hedge fund or a financial business within this stuff. Let's see how that works there, and let's see what you want to be as a drug dealer. Yeah. What are the pros and cons of it? Well, you be a drug dealer, yeah, you're making a lot of money, but then you get busted and you lose everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? You basically let them know, yo, this is the disadvantages and which one is worth it. You know what I mean? Then it starts to get into his head. You shut him down. No. He wants to rebel. Right. He'll do it. Yeah. But if you basically sit down and tell him what it is, line for line, exactly the repercussions of what it is on this side as opposed to this side, you'll see his brain switch one time. Right. One time.
And that's powerful, bro, because a lot of people just want to be heard. You know, they just want to be heard. And like you said, if you just shut down someone and you don't give them the time to be heard, you know, or even express themselves, then they're going to rebel. Exactly. You know, you see that with kids all the time. And for me as a father, I try to be intentional about hearing my son, like paying attention to my son, you know, and not just try to, you know, just go and play, you know, just especially when I'm tired and I'm trying to chill, because at the end of the day, people just want to be heard. People just want to be felt, you know. So, exactly. And I feel that 100%. I definitely feel that 100%. Intentionality is definitely a powerful thing where you could take a bad situation and learn not what to do. And I know exactly what that's like because, bro, I spent 4 years in a situation, you know, where I was working with an elder. You know, this is a church environment, you know, working with an elder. and I'm looking at all the different mistakes that he's doing, and I'm learning like this is what you don't do, you know. And for about 4 years of my life, almost 4 years, I'm just learning this is what you don't do. This is what you don't do. Because he could have done a lot of things better. But for me, it was just like I'm observing all of his mistakes and I'm taking a mental note. And that season has prepared me for the season that I'm in now. And I'm making sure that, hey, I don't make the same mistakes that my boy did, you know. So I agree with you 100%. Definitely agree with you 100%. Bro, you got any inspiration, like persons that were like your role model, you know, growing up, not just in the music industry, persons that you look up to in the music industry, but even like authors, podcasters, motivational speakers, anybody that kind of inspired you on the journey of becoming?
There's a motivational speaker. His name is Dan Pena. Hardcore, real gritty.
Yeah.
But the core of his stuff is just action, and focus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? High achieving.
Yeah.
Goal oriented. You know what I mean? You're not working at your highest level. There's always a higher level. Work hard at what you want. You can't say that you want something and you're not doing every single thing possible to make that a reality. So he's one of them.
Yeah.
I do a lot of research and studies on entrepreneurs. I watch a lot of documentaries. You know, Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, all these things. I watch a lot of these videos. You know what I mean? This may sound a little controversial, but even Hitler, watching just because again, like I keep saying, some people who are messed up, they had good systems. They just the system was just messed up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You start to learn about different things. You know what I mean? Because in order for someone like that to reach a certain position, you know what I mean, they had to be intelligent. They had to have certain skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, you take from the
you
take the good from the bad in certain areas. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know?
Yeah, I like that, man. One of the questions that I like to always bring up on the podcast, you know, is people's not only their story, their journey, but the Most High, man. I gotta talk about the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So what does the Most High mean to you? You know, what do you think about God? What are your experience, you know, in terms of that whole arena of spirituality, Christianity, whatever you want to call it? You know, what does God mean to you?
I believe there's forces out here that are stronger than us for sure. I believe in a God. I grew up as a Christian, went to the Methodist church right up the road here. You know? I kind of slowly haven't been really involved in it that much, but I believe it's there. Yeah. I believe that God just wants you to do your best at whatever it is that you're doing and focus. You know what I mean? I want you to help me with this one. There was something about, I remember someone mentioning something about loaves of bread or something that God gave one guy, maybe not loaves of bread, maybe like coins. God gave one guy the coins and so and so, and the person came back and gave them this. Right. And the person like, tell me the story. I don't know which one it is, but it's that one.
There's this master that gave talents to several people. To one he gave 5, you know, to another he gave 1, to another he gave 2, 3. And the person that had 5 talents, he went out and he invested it, he flipped it and brought back 10 talents, you know. And the person that had 2 turned it 2 to 4. And then the person that had 1, he went out and buried his talent. Because he was of the mindset and opinion that, hey, I'm going to save my talent. So when the master come back, I still have this 1 talent. And the master was just like, he was proud of the person that had the 5 talents and he turned it into 10. And he was frowning upon the person that had the 1 talent. And instead of trying to turn that 1 into 2, he buried it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the story.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like when you have opportunities and things are presented into you, why not use the opportunity to be taken away from you. Right. So that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I see God as in that sense. He gives you certain opportunities and things. And even if you feel kind of down and out about it and unsure and stuff like that, just do it. You know what I mean? Do it. That's what God wants. That's why God gave you these things, for you to transcend and share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, like you say, burying it. You know what I mean? Like, figuratively, burying it inside of you and locking it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let it out, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. I had a really good conversation with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's
you man, you real deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you real deep, man. I appreciate it 100%. I'm looking forward to some more music from you. And if the opportunity presented itself, man, we could even work on something together. Not just music-wise, man, but as you say, you know, teaching kids, you know, how to really navigate life and find their purpose and their passion and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm 100% grateful for you coming on the podcast and just kicking it with me, man. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and watching your boy. I am Vern Kanas, and this was
Sunra Banx.
And you are tuned in to the Doing the Major podcast. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, in whatever you do, do it major. Peace.
So I had to take it from you because you don't want it. I'm gassed up with ambition, feeling so atomic. You about to hear me 5 ways like it's pentatonics. I see your drive is kind of weak, it's like an ergonomic.